Did you know that whilst you was at Silverstone, Harry Kane, another offer came in for him?
I did.
He could be gone, you know.
He's not going
He
anywhere.
could be gone. Another offer, this time 80 million euros. I know you're both worried over there.
We're not. Are you?
Huh?
I'm not
I
worried.
don't care.
Do you think...
I don't care.
This is Bayern Munich, by the way, are making these offers. Bayern are looking for a striker. They're definitely looking for a striker. This is like the second time now, the second bid they've made for Harry Kane. What do you think will take for Levy to listen to it? I mean, there has been talk that under no circumstances they're going to sell him, but...
For me, it would take Harry Kane coming out and putting out a strong worded demand. Not even in the sense of what he did with Gary Neville last year, where it's a stroll around the golf park. He needs to come out and say, I'm done. I'm not turning up for pre-season training. I'm not taking part in next season. My contract's coming up to an end, and I'm not renewing. The decision is yours now.
Go on strike.
And that's it, literally, yeah.
They're saying he's meeting with Postecoglou today.
And that's the thing, is I think this summer's probably the most difficult one. Last summer was the perfect window for him to leave. This summer, you've got a new manager coming in. You've got a director of football in jail. You've got the replacements, let's be honest. You're looking at guys like Moani and Højlund being quoted at 80 plus, 140 million. There's no replacements out there to be able to go and get immediately, which is why I think Daniel Levy is, in a sense, within his right to play as hardball as he can. Bayern Munich, 75 million, 80 million, when I'm hearing Højlund for the same prices. Those kids couldn't lace Harry Kane's boots. So don't tell me, oh, you lot better accept it because it's the last year of the deal.
You can't.
For me, it's a similar...
They're a lot younger than him, though, aren't
He's
they?
a lot younger than him,
also,
but it's the quality of what you're getting.
What it is, they're a lot younger than him, and they don't have... they're not into the last year of their contract, which is what's going to happen to Harry Kane. The fact that at the end of the season, next season...
He could leave on a free.
He can leave on for free.
Here's
absolutely nothing, which means then Tottenham have nothing to invest into in future time.
That is a major L we will have to take, but I don't think any Spurs fan can be, in a sense, mad at it, because for what Kane has given us, he doesn't owe us anything, in a sense. If anything, that's a failure on the club, not capitalising and not being ready this summer in order to replace him. For me, that just shows a reflection of how we've been run, essentially, the past 20 years. Too little, too late, never proactive, always reactive. So, same old story in all essence.
What do you want him to do, Abby? Do you want him to walk?
No.
Right? And get them, sell him and get the money, and then use that money to reinvest it? Because listen, there's going to have to be life after Harry Kane, right? So get the money and then reinvest, or you just want him to stay till the end and then do what you want to do, and we just swallow the fact that we have made nothing.
Well, firstly, the offers that are on the table are nowhere near close to the asking price. I think the asking price would be somewhere around £100 million. At the moment, we're talking about
1 year left.
Doesn't matter. You just paid 105 million for Declan Rice.
No, but Declan Rice has got like 3 years left on his. He's got 2 years left with an option.
I think it was a 1+1, if I'm not mistaken.
He's a 24-year. He's got 2 years left. It's not that his contract runs out.
Well, there was it was 1 more year with an option for another.
Yeah, but they would have took. So he would have had 2 years left.
But he was technically out of contract at the end of next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they would definitely in it. That's why they've been able to push the price right up, because they would definitely have operated that option.
Either way, you can't replace Harry Kane with £70 million. You can't really replace Harry Kane with £100 million. I understand the other side of it.
Can't replace him in the zero either.
Absolutely, but at the end of the day, when you think about qualifying for the Champions League, you get around £60-70 million. So if you don't have Kane, you're never going to be able to do that. So it's kind of...
What
if we don't qualify?
Yeah,
then we don't. That's it.
And then you've got lost Harry Kane for nothing. You've got no money back.
But at the end of the day, if we're trying to rebuild something with Ange Postecoglou, and we're going to need Harry Kane to try and get us somewhere around it, you can't replace him with 70 million. You can't replace him with 70 million euros.
What about the
100 million? You can't.
What about the other scenario is that he then stays and then you see him tot off to one of your rivals. So he goes up the road to Old Trafford, or even worse, decides to join the revolution at Chelsea with Pochettino.
For me, I think
that's what can happen, isn't it?
Yeah, when you leave the door open for a free transfer, I think that's the only fear from a Tottenham fan perspective of him joining a potential Chelsea or God
I can't
forbid,
see him
an
going to
Arsenal.
Chelsea.
He wouldn't, I don't think Kane would do that.
And that's
He might go
the
to
thing.
United,
So,
but
which
not
is
Chelsea.
I didn't think Pochettino would go to Chelsea, but he's there.
But he's had a stopgap. He's had a stopgap team. To leave them straight away
Yeah.
and make the jump is.
it would burn
is-
And also
everything.
for years they were trying to get Poch while he was still
If
out.
you're a footballer and say listen, we don't know Kane's exact position on this, right? Say Kane wants to move, and now some of the rumours are saying that Kane does want to go to Bayern,
Yeah.
and that gets blocked because the really high fee is being quoted for him.
Yeah.
Then at the end of the season, you just say to yourself, well, hey, you know me, you lot did me no favours. When it came to that, I'm going Chelsea. I'm going to do what's right for my career.
I don't think a really high fee of £100 million for Harry Kane. I don't think that's a high fee. Look at what he does, year in, year out.
Listen,
30 goals a season in that Tottenham
ordinarily,
team last
You are
year.
you
I
are
think
within
all-
your right, especially when it's your crown jewel, if you like. Harry Kane, let's be honest, is the crown jewel for Tottenham. The Spurs have never produced an academy prospect like that and probably never will for the
Probably
next 100 years.
generational.
It's a generational player. So in my eyes, we're kind of in our rights to kind of demand what we think is worth that. Of
course,
we think
The thing is, every other team does it. Villa charged 100 million for Jack
Grealish.
Grealish
Yeah.
because that's what he's worth to Aston Villa. They don't know even near Champions League, etc., etc. Declan Rice is 105 million pounds.
He's not- yeah.
Shouldn't be that, but they say he is. Mark Cucurella from Brighton was 60-something million.
Good God.
Shouldn't.
difference though.
No.
The difference is, right, I'm trying to give you
Yeah,
the
just one
scenario
year
that
thing.
he could just walk away.
Yeah, he can, he can.
So this is what you've got to balance up. You've got to balance up and I guess, listen, this is going to run for quite a lot of the window, I reckon.
Yeah.
But it's like, do we let him leave now and take that money and cash in? Or do we lose him for nothing at the end of the season? And even worse on top of that, strengthen rivals around us.
Yeah.
Because, you send him to Bayern, he's out of sight, isn't it? He's not going to be affecting you week in, week out.
Yeah, it is. It has to be about. It is. This whole thing is a balancing act for Daniel Levy. He also has to work out, which is what I get with these guys saying. What type of chance do we have of getting Champions League next year, and the money that can give us with Kane versus without Kane? Like the money they'd have to spend to replace Kane. What does that replacement look like versus with Kane? Versus let's see if we can keep him as is. He's not going to sign anything. Let's even try and get to January. Maybe we're 5th, maybe we're 4th. We're in there, we're doing something. Then try and tie him down to a new deal. Like they have to play that long game now.
Yeah.
Or it could be going to what your point you're making there. It could be then let's just try and keep him, and then in January if we're not going to make
Doors
it.
start
Then
closing
then-
up.
But then with that he can agree to go to Real Madrid in January if he
Yeah.
wants. Like it all changes. There is no
Or
right
we
or
could
wrong.
agree to go to Bayern.
There is no right or wrong answer because if you gave, like Fuad saying, even if you gave Tottenham 100 million now, who could they buy? Who could do what Harry Kane
And
does
also-
now?
Also, we've got
straight
no
away.
European football. So I think the idea is to keep Kane, try and get back to having European football, Champions League ideally. And then next summer, if he wants to still go, then you're in a better position for attracting players of a similar calibre to try and come. What is the point of getting rid of Kane when you finished 8th last season? We've got a new
You'd have
manager.
nothing.
We've got
I think
absolutely
that's the
nothing.
thing as
You
well.
can't get rid of
Nothing.
someone that guarantees you 20 to 30 goals a season. You just can't. You wouldn't do it at
I think that
Arsenal.
meeting with Ange, as you said, is going to be a real indicator of if he's going to throw his toys out of the pram this summer or not. But in all honesty, I think with the new manager coming in, he might try and see how it goes.
I think it all depends on Harry Kane. Obviously, it depends on Levy as well. Because if he does, the only way he can do him dirty is if that type of money does come in and he still says no.
No, yeah.
If someone puts 105 million down for Harry Kane,
You can't say no.
And Levy says no, I'm not picking up the phone. He's in his rights to do what he wants.
Yeah.
But
So I've got another question for you then. Are you disappointed as a Man United fan that United haven't done that?
absolutely, I want look. We've obviously moved on from Kane because of two things. One, they're going, he's just not going to sell to us. And two, there was reports saying that we thought he was too expensive, which I don't get that. Like the whole planning that Man United were doing through this whole season when there's no Martial and we've got 4 million Weghorst up front is knowing that we're going to get to the end of the season and have to outlay about 100 million to get Harry Kane or whatever it is for Austin. We knew that. Now we're trying to go for the Hoyland kid. Don't get me started on that. That's a different thing.
We're
But
gonna
the
come
Kane,
to that.
yeah,
We're gonna
we'll get there. The Kane situation for me is if Bayern are getting some joy though, like say Daniel Levy starts saying, let me see what this email's saying. I'm saying, John Murtough, put the bid down. I've always said it.
Yeah.
Even if it's 80, 85, 90, I'm saying Man United, put a bid in. because we need to give Harry Kane some encouragement to say to Daniel Levy,
You've still got options.
there's a difference in price, I know that, but look what I've done to the club. I will go on strike, like you're saying. Don't tell me when pre-season starts with Ange, because I ain't going to be there. I want you to accept that bid from Man United. We need to give Kane something to work with, but we're not even doing that. So I am disappointed, yes.
Okay, random guy in the UK says Sancho plus 70 million for Kane. Your
No.
thoughts?
Not for me.
Fuad?
Let's talk, Fuad. Let's talk, man.
I like Sancho.
Yeah, with the right manager, with the right style of play. This is a guy.
I like
20
Sancho.
goals and 20
But I
assists
saw
in the past.
pre-season pictures come out yesterday or
fake
two.
news. No. Watch the video. Watch the video. It's not real.
No, you're not.
CGI.
AI, yeah?
No, I'm telling you now. Watch the video. Jadon Sancho he doesn't look like
Saying
that.
too much
I'm
burgers.
telling you, it's
Bro,
not real.
I was like, yo, he was enjoying his
It's
summer.
not real. It's not real.
Considering that.
It's not real.
Do you know what it is? Listen, Abby,
That's a
about
good deal.
2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, Sancho was in the same bracket, believe it or not, as Haaland and Mbappe. He was a talent at that level at one point. I don't think talent like that disappears. I look at the situation at United, whether it was Ronaldo coming in same window as him, whether it was Oli getting sacked mid-season, Ten Hag not really feeding him. He's just had to have hurdle after hurdle after, and expectation after expectation. I think he has a fresh start somewhere else with less pressure. I think he.
But
looks
you would be
a
ready
lot
to
miles
take
better.
the risk
Now,
and get rid of
this-
Harry
Yes, he
Kane
would.
for
This is
it.
the
Yes, he would,
I don't
Abby.
think it's
For a
enough to
player
move me.
that has
Sancho
been
plus 70 million.
underwhelming.
85
No.
really plus Sancho.
Sancho plus 70 million.
No,
70 is still a little too low.
Sancho, we got Sancho for like 76.
Them stockings dropped. He's half price at the
100
moment.
No, he's not half
He's half price.
He's not 35 million.
He's half price.
He's not. He's not half price.
He's half price.
What do you think you get
What
for
would
him?
Pepe have
not.
been
He's not.
3 years after
Yeah,
his initial
he's half
signing?
price.
He's not.
man.
He's not half
What
price.
do you think you get for him then?
Sancho.
Yeah.
Sancho's because of what he has proved he's done before,
Yeah.
and he's English and he's still young. He's like 50. Sancho's a 50 million pound player. He is.
That's
he is.
milking the British
He
tax
is.
there.
He is.
Oh no.
He's a 50 million pound player.
Sorry, not
You
cashing
know
in
what
on
he's
Kane
capable
for
of
that.
somewhere
No
else.
way.
He is.
No one's
No way.
paid 50 million
We
for
just
Sancho.
seen Kai Havertz.
Actually, I was
nothing,
just
and he's
about
going
to
for
say that.
flipping things.
Yeah,
I was
because they're
just like,
stupid enough
you
to
lot
pay
face
Yeah,
it.
but Kai Havertz has done more than Sancho.
True.
What,
I don't-
and only because of the Champions League, but
Hey.
as an actual whole package, has he?
Yeah,
Has
he
he?
has.
Has he?
He has, man.
He's scored like maximum
Sancho's.
8 goals. What's he done?
Yeah, but
He's
how
had
many has
more
Sancho
consistent
scored?
Spells.
Probably about the same.
How many assists? How many goals? He's
Probably about the same.
Nah, come on, Fritz.
50
You got it. He's been
50 million pound for Sancho as a name brand player, knowing like this is a kid 2 years ago, like you're saying.
Yeah.
Havertz has never been.
No,
in
but
that
I think
category.
He was actually. He was.
Yeah.
Ever.
Havertz was fourth. It was
Yeah.
always Mbappe, Haaland, Sancho.
Havertz.
Yeah.
And Felix was all.
No.
You
Havertz
know what
and
I'd
Felix
say?
were always the
You know what
fourth
I'd say?
and fifth one.
I'd say Havertz has been very underwhelming.
No.
But I'd say Sancho's been a disaster. Let's
I'm
be
not saying he
real.
hasn't.
So-
But there's
so
still-
that's
there's still
what-
enough
that's-
in there.
I get what
50
I'm
you're
not
saying.
sure-
I get
I'm not
what
sure
you're
if
saying.
50
Maybe
million.
not
Can I just ask you a
35, but-
question? So let's say you had Harry Kane and it was roles were reversed and we had Jadon Sancho and we said we'll give you 70 million plus Jadon Sancho for Kane. Would you
Yeah,
take
but
it?
I'm Spurs. But no, it's different. I'm Man United. You're Spurs.
No, I'm saying if we
If I'm Spurs, I'm going bloody hell. We've done well because we don't do. That's good for us. I'm Man United, mate. So I'll be like.
So
no.
just bottom
The
line
only
is
thing-
you
So I'm
wouldn't
saying
take that
it's-
deal.
No.
No,
The
you
only
wouldn't.
thing
No,
I'm
you wouldn't
thinking
take
But
it.
you're Spurs.
If Sancho comes in on
My
the left,
expectation. My expectation this year is to do some serious stuff. The expectation of Spurs is not to do some serious stuff this year. It's to get Ange in and play
say,
attractive football.
we can let Sancho develop maybe.